Hi guys, this is Emman from GadgetPilipinas.net and we are here at the MSI HQ in Taiwan. And what we have here beside me is one of their latest creations. So it was just launched yesterday. This is the MSI GT75VR Titan. That means it's big and it's powerful. So as you can see here, so we have here the unit. So uh, you can see the RGB keyboard here. We're gonna talk about that more later. Let's talk about the design first. So we have here the familiar MSI design, the metal brushed surface here with the Dyne Audio logo, and then we have here a 120 hertz 17.3 inch panel with 120 hertz panel with 5 millisecond response time, which makes it ideal for FPS games. So if you play Overwatch or CSGO, this display is for you. Now we go to the keyboard. So this is a SteelSeries keyboard, RGB keyboard. So the unique thing about this is that each key can be programmed individually to have a different color. So if you want, for example, this part to be in red, and then that part in blue, and then that part in violet, then that's fine. You can do that. It also has better response time. If you remove the keycap, you can see there the RGB lighting. So let's put that back. Okay, and then next we have the familiar MSI design here. We have the metallic brushed surface. We have here the dedicated buttons. One of them is for the cooling. We have the power button here. We also have a few LED indicators here at the bottom. So for power, and then if there's activity in the hard drive, you'll see that there. And then at the side, we have 4 ports for audio. So we actually have one here for the headset, one here for the microphone, and 2 line in, line out jacks. Unfortunately, you can't connect more than one headset. That's what they told me, but we'll see. Anyway, this one, we have here 3 USB 3.0 ports, and then we have the exhaust. On the other side, we have another exhaust, and then we have an SD card reader, and then we have 2 more USB 3.0 ports. Okay, if you look at the back, we have the familiar MSI logo with the dragon there. And then we have the HDMI port here. We have the power socket with the power port here. This is a Thunderbolt 3 port. And we have a display port and a dedicated LAN port. So basically you can connect up to more than one monitor here. So you want to connect it to 2 monitors, that's fine. So if you want to do external displays, that's okay. And then at the bottom, let's see, we have here exhausts. And then if you can see on the left side, there's a Dyne Audio woofer. So you'll be assured of great sound quality when you use this laptop. Now let's go over the specs of the GT75VR Titan. So we have here, as I've said earlier, a 17.3 inch Full HD display, 120 hertz and 5 millisecond response time. It's also capable of doing NVIDIA's G-Sync. So you can be assured that when you're gaming, usually when you play FPS, there's visual tearing, right? So when you have G-Sync on, you'll no longer have visual tearing. And then let's look at the processor. So we have here an Intel Core i7-7820 HK CPU at 2.9 gigahertz. And then for the graphics card, this one has an NVIDIA GTX 1080. This is also available in SLI configuration. So if you want to get that model, you also have that option. There's also a version of this with a 17.3 inch UHD display. So this one, the one that we're using, is a full HD. So there's another version with 4K displays. If you're into 4K gaming, then you can try that. You can have that as well. Now next up is we have the storage option. So this one has a 250 GB M.2 SSD, and then there's also a 1 TB hard drive there. And then for the memory, this can hold up to 64 gigabytes. So I believe we only have 32 gigabytes right now here, but it can also hold it can hold up to 64 GB of DDR4 memory. Okay, so now let's go over some of the features of this laptop. So we have here some applications open. So one is MSI Color. So basically, if you want to change your display profile, so you can do it here. You can change the brightness, contrast, gamma, even you can even adjust the color temperature. Now you can select any profile here. Personally, I prefer the gamer one because it's much more vivid than everything else. So if you want to go anti-blue, if you want to go sRGB, designer mode, office, or movie, so you can just select which one is for you. You can even actually adjust it here. You can also customize it there. And then next is we have the SteelSeries Engine 3. So what I've been saying earlier is that each key in the keyboard is actually can actually be independently configured. So if you want to have red color and just a single key and the rest is violet, then that's up to you. We can actually have a lot of effects here. So if you want to try out, for example, what we have here, FPS, you can use that. Okay, so if you notice that the lighting scheme has already changed. And then if you want to, for example, do it disco mode, let's try that. Okay, so it's now in disco mode, so everything is like a different color. So there's a lot of options you can choose here. So if you want to go to illumination, and then you can select this one. So for example, I would just want to customize the number 6 key to another color. Then all I have to do is select it here, and then that's it. So basically, you can just configure, if you want to configure every single key to have a different color or the same color, that's up to you. So that's the beauty of this keyboard. It's also very responsive, by the way. If you hear that very clicky sound, so the keyboard is very, very, very responsive. Now next is, let's go to sound. So this is the Nahimik app, Nahimik Engine 2. We have here some sound profiles that you can customize. If you want to have bass boost, virtual surround, you want to activate reverb, increase clarity. There's actually an equalizer here that you may also want to tweak if that's up to you, if that's to your liking. If you want to really, if you're into in-depth tweaking with your sound, then that's fine. You can also use that. And also we have here the NVIDIA control panel. Okay, so if you want to enable G-Sync, it's here, set up G-Sync there. If for any reason you want to disable it, then that's fine, it's also there. Next up, we'll do a benchmark. Here we have the Unigine Heaven benchmark. So this is a pretty popular benchmark tool for not only for gaming laptops, but also for any sort of desktop machine. So let's try it out. Let's see how this thing performs. So we have the settings to DirectX 11, ultra quality, tessellation is normal. Okay, so let's do it. Run. And let's see how it goes. Remember, this thing is a 7th generation i7 processor and a GTX 1080 graphics card. So it should be able to do well in this benchmark. in 1080p. Okay, so now we're done with the benchmark, in Engine Heaven benchmark, and we have here the score. So we have an average FPS at 177.9, and the score 4,483. So basically, this thing is a monster in full HD gaming. So you can basically throw anything, AAA titles at it. It should be able to handle it well. Final thoughts on this one, or initial thoughts on this one, is that the keyboard is very responsive, and the RGB customization is a very nice thing to have. Like me, I'm an RGB guy, so I really like to customize my RGB components. And the ability to do that per key is really good. I've noticed that during the benchmark, the fan kept on kicking in. It became very loud. It's not to the point of being too noisy. It's just right. It's just what a laptop does when it heats up. So, but when you actually touch the surface itself, it isn't even hot. It isn't even that warm. Actually, it's still very comfortable to use. The only thing that I can see here being an issue is that it's very big. So if you don't like to carry a very big and heavy laptop on your back, then this one isn't for you. But everything else, if you need portability and power, then this laptop, the GT75VR Titan, is a good choice.